Giannis Antetokounmpo is possibly on the move, and I'm going to be discussing potential trade destinations and the packages the Bucks would get back. Starting with the Hawks, and look, I think this trade package is probably the most favorable for the Bucks. Giannis goes to the Hawks, and what the Bucks get back is Trae Young, Zachary Ricochet, and 4 first-round picks. Look, I like this package a lot. Zachary Ricochet, obviously a former first overall pick as well as first-round pick. He's an interesting prospect. Maybe he develops into something as kind of the primary option on that Bucks team with Trae Young, of course. And Trae Young is going to sell tickets for the modern era, for the next couple of years. You'll at least have something to watch. You'll have Miles Turner and Trae Young, and it'll be an okay team, a play-in type team. But at least you got a big name there, as well as 4 first-round picks. I like it. You get into that rebuild once Miles Turner's contract's up and Trae Young's contract's up. You build in a nice little base and you get your picks as well. So I like that trade. Now, Giannis, this is to the Rockets. So Giannis to the Rockets, and the Bucks would get Şengün, Fred VanVleet in the 2027 first-round Suns pick. Now, look, that Suns pick is probably going to be a top 5, top 10 pick, so that's an elite pick. But we get 1 first-round pick, presumably going to be a good pick. Fred VanVleet, kind of an irrelevant piece. He's a point guard, but he's a point guard that's he's a sixth man on a championship team. On the Bucks, what does he really do for me? Şengün's a nice piece, but Şengün isn't really put in butts and seats. He isn't kind of that guy you're going to build around. You also already have Miles Turner, so maybe you go double big with Şengün and Turner, but only 1 first-round pick, you get Şengün. I don't really love it. Şengün is going to be a high-paid player, but he's not going to be a player that can win you a championship or can put butts in seats. Now, Giannis to the Knicks for Karl Anthony Towns and 4 first-round picks. Now, this deal it's so-so. I don't like it as much as the Hawks. Karl Anthony Towns is older. He's obviously already getting paid a lot of money. You get 4 first-round picks, but those are going to be Knicks picks, and the Knicks are going to be good, especially with Giannis. You have to factor that into the first-round picks, that these teams are going to have Giannis, so they're going to be picking later. I would prefer the Hawks 4 first-round picks, and I'd probably prefer, honestly, as crazy as it sounds, I'd probably prefer Zachary Ricochet over Cat in terms of a long-term future, because Cat's a better player right now, but Cat's not going to take you anywhere. Miles Turner and Cap, they're not going to take you anywhere. So I'd probably prefer the Hawks package over that. Now, in terms of the Spurs, I think this is probably the worst package. You would be getting Stephon Castle. Okay, it's a nice piece, a nice guard, and 3 first-round picks. Look, I think the Spurs are going to be a good basketball team with Giannis, with Victor, et cetera, et cetera. It's like those first-round picks aren't going to be good first-round picks. Stephon Castle, okay, I don't like that trade. And then Giannis to the Warriors, this is an interesting trade. You get back Draymond Green, you get back Kuminga, and you get 4 first-round picks. It'd be between this if I had to move him, and obviously you want to keep him. But it'd be between this, the Warriors trade, as well as the Hawks trade. The 4 first-round picks from the Warriors, I probably actually like more than the Hawks. I think the Warriors, those first-round picks are all going to be after Steph and Curry is retired. The team will be essentially just Giannis, so I think those will be good first-round picks. You get Kuminga, who's a good piece. Draymond Green, I probably wouldn't even want him in this trade. I'd say keep him. Now, for financial reasons, you do need to bring on Draymond, but I guess Draymond's fine. And yeah, so it's like, look, at the end of the day, you essentially get Kuminga and 4 first-round picks, or Ricochet and 4 first-round picks. I think they're kind of even. Now, in terms of what teams should want him, the Spurs is the obvious. If you've got Wemby and Giannis, it's probably a championship, or at least you're competing with the Thunder. The Rockets, it's kind of so-so, KD, and I don't really know about that fit. The rim protection gets a little. It's still going to be okay because you replace him with Giannis, but I don't really love that. The Warriors, Steph and Giannis is kind of a weird fit. Losing Draymond, it's like you get better on offense, but it's kind of so-so. The Knicks, I like it. I do like it for sure. I think that probably gets you over the hump. And in terms of the Hawks, maybe you could do some damage, but I like the Knicks. I like the Spurs. The Warriors is interesting, I guess.